Hello, my name is Everett Taylor, and today I will be talking about artificial embryos. Alright, so the first thing is, what exactly are artificial embryos? These are embryos that are formed in a lab, and they are made with no egg or sperm. So they are formed in a lab by scientists, and they take stem cells, from humans or from animals, and they are able to form those into embryos using no sperm or egg, which is very impressive. And so far, these have been successful with mice, sheep, and pig embryos. Alright, so what can we do with artificial embryos? What they're hoping to do, someday would be to maybe grow animals using these artificial embryos. So we'd be able to grow animals in a lab. And I doubt this would ever happen, but, possibly humans at some point. This doesn't seem very likely, and scientists don't think it is either, but possibly one day. And another thing that we could really do with it, this is pretty huge, would be to improve medical care and the availability of organs. And on this next slide, I'm going to cover exactly what we'll be able to do in the medical field by using these artificial embryos. Alright, so what they're looking to do is to grow organs using these. So every 6 hours, or every hour, 6 people are added to the waiting list for organs, and every day 22 people die waiting to receive organs. 100,000 people every year need heart transplants, and only 2,000 people actually get one. And another thing is, with these artificial embryos, it would allow human growth, or human organ growth, to take place in other animals. So what they actually do with this is they take stem cells from humans and they introduce those to, say a sheep embryo very early on, and they introduce these stem cells. And they would be able to grow these sheep into, living sheep that would actually have human organs inside of them that they could be able to use for transplants for people. So a lot of the issues that arise with transplants is whether, say, a heart or a lung would be compatible with someone. But with this right here, what this would allow would be to take stem cells from a person, put it into the sheep, and the chances for compatibility would probably be a lot higher. This technology, it's something that they've been working on, but probably will not be available for another, say, 5 to 10 years for them to be able to do this successfully time after time and be able to repeat this. One big thing that has arisen from these artificial embryos is, how ethical this is. So one big thing is how long until these embryos begin to feel pain. And a lot of these labs in the United States are able to work on them for about 28 days. So they work on these embryos, study them for 28 days, and then they take soap and they scrub them away and pretty much erase them and get rid of them. And a big issue with that is how long until these embryos can actually feel things, which is why that 28 days has been set up. And a lot of scientists, 28 days is good, but some of them want maybe like a 70-day period for them to be able to look and analyze these, but that would take permission from a board to approve this. So that's one thing that's been going on ethically. And another one is, what if they become indistinguishable from real embryos? So, say we have a pig embryo in the lab and it begins to look exactly like the embryo from an actual pig who has been actually bred. Would we want that to start happening? Because then that would be pretty much like a real pig, and we would in turn be killing that. And that's just a thing, would we want to actually do that? Another thing is, when do they need to be destroyed? Like I said earlier, a lot in the US, they have a 28-day period. They would like 70 days. That way they can test them for longer, but at that point, do they feel pain? And in the EU, it's a little bit stricter actually. So in the EU, I believe they can test for 14 days because they're a little more strict on that over there. And all scientists want a little bit longer of a time frame so they can improve this technology, but that will only come with time because they'll have to bring that to a board, and the board will have to approve it, and they'll have to run tests to see if they can actually feel pain, things like that. And that is all that I have for you today. And I just want to say thank you for listening.